Migrants gather on both sides of the border between the U.S. and Mexico hours before an immigration restriction called Title 42 is set to expire. U.S. border officers say they have been holding up to 28,000 migrants at its facilities as migrants rush to cross the border ahead of tough new asylum rules that will replace Title 42, which has been in place since March 2020. Under the COVID-era order, hundreds of thousands of migrants have been quickly expelled to Mexico. But because Mexico only accepted the return of certain nationalities, migrants from other countries have largely been allowed in to pursue their immigration claims. This is set to change under U.S. President Joe Biden's new regulation, which would deny asylum to almost all migrants who crossed illegally. Mexico, for its part, said it is cooperating with the U.S., so there is no chaos or violence on their shared border.
Instrucción de no utilizar. ¿Qué tienen que hacer? Lo digo de manera respetuosa, ¿no? Los del gobierno de Estados Unidos. Buscar arreglos en Venezuela, en Cuba, en todos los países. ¿Cómo se va a poder mantener la armonía, la paz, la tranquilidad si se tienen diferencias, si hay confrontación con los vecinos?
Israel kills 2 senior Islamic Jihad commanders, pressing an operation that has cost 28 lives in the Gaza Strip, including women and children. The killing comes as Palestinian cross-border rocket salvos inflicted the first fatality in Israel on Thursday. The deaths of Ali Ghali, head of Islamic Jihad's rocket force, and of Ahmed Abu Daka, a senior commander of its armed wing, brings to 5 the number of senior figures from the faction killed since Israel began striking Gaza on Tuesday. 2 gunmen from a splinter group died in a separate strike yesterday. 4 women and 6 children have also been killed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is signaling no imminent let-up after 3 days of strikes, and no-set operations are still proceeding at full pace.
כבר אמרתי, כל מי שבא לפגוע בנו דמו בראשו, וגם דמו בראשו של מחליפו.
Forces of the Wagner mercenary group are now under pressure near the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut. Head Yevgeny Prigozhin said the situation on the flanks is developing according to the worst predicted scenario. Prigozhin argued that it is actually the job of regular Russian forces to protect Wagner's flanks near Bakhmut. He has been under feud with Russian defense chiefs, whom he accused of failing to give him sufficient support and ammunition.
Те территории, которые кровью и жизнями наших боевых товарищей брались много месяцев, каждый день, проходя по десяткам или сотням метров, сегодня практически без боя бросаются теми, кто должен удерживать наши фланги.
Meanwhile, Britain is set to formally classify the Wagner Group as a terrorist organization. There has been no evidence that Wagner or individuals linked to the group are operating in Britain, but there are suspicions that they helped move money out of the country after financial sanctions were imposed on Russian oligarchs. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Gerard de la Peña. Twitter CEO Elon Musk reveals that he has found a new chief executive for the social media platform. Musk, however, did not disclose who would be replacing him. In a tweet, Musk announced that he has hired a new CEO who is set to take his place in 6 weeks. For his part, Musk said he would transition to being an executive chair and will oversee product, software, and system operations. The move is likely to allay Tesla investors' concerns about the time Musk has been devoting to turning Twitter around. This year's ASEAN chairperson, Indonesian President Joko Widodo, somberly told his fellow ASEAN leaders that no progress has been made to end the civil strife gripping Myanmar. On the final day of the summit, Widodo says there has been no significant progress in the implementation of the 5-point consensus. Widodo was referring to a peace plan forged by the 10-nation bloc with Myanmar's top general in 2021 that called for an immediate end to the violence and dialogue among contending parties to be brokered through an ASEAN special envoy. Myanmar's military-led government refused to take steps to enforce the plan, prompting ASEAN leaders to exclude the country's ruling generals and their appointees from the bloc summit meetings. The ASEAN has renewed their call for an end to the violence, including a recent airstrike that a rights group called, quote, an apparent war crime. Beyoncé kicks off the Renaissance World Tour in Sweden, her first solo concert outing in 7 years. That and more stories on the entertainment front in this report from the Associated Press. And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. Coming right up is Agenda at 8 a.m. I'm Gerard de la Peña. We are One News, all sides, all the time.